we are very happy to have with us the HOD, the head of the department of Don Bosco College, with us, Mr. Jovi De Silva. Mr. Jovi De Silva, welcome to our show. Thank you so much. Basically, we are having this program to help our students and parents know what is BCA all about and know all the other career options so they can make a wise choice while deciding what to do. So BCA has become a very important area where students look at their options and they want to know more about it. So since you are the expert on BCA, would you please tell us more about what this BCA is all about?
The BCA course can be looked at as a bridge course. It is to introduce students to the field of IT, but not completely in depth as an engineering course. It is to give them a base so that they can develop themselves for the IT industry, which is an always evolving industry, and allow them to hone their skills to meet the great IT demand that is there in today's industry.
Oh, I see. Okay. So let us take a student who is just in the 12th standard today, be it in arts, commerce, or science. Is he eligible to join the BCA program?
Yes, the BCA program is open to any stream. So a student from arts, commerce, or science can pursue the BCA course.
Now, my understanding of computers, the little I know about it, is that maths and physics are an important ingredient of computers. So how is it possible that an art student can join a BCA program, because that's a computer program, right?
Yes. The BCA course is structured in such a way that the maths that is taught to them in the first year helps them build the base for the requirements, what is required in the second year and in the third year. So therefore, a student who comes from a background such as commerce or arts is able to pursue the course quite problem-free.
Quite all right. Okay, that's right. So when did Don Bosco start this program?
The program started in 2001.
And how has it been for Don Bosco?
It has been a very, it is actually the flagship course of Don Bosco for a long time now. And we've always been having 100% results and a good turnout of students every year.
All right, okay. And what is the duration of the program?
The duration is 6 semesters and 3 years.
3 years, okay. And let us say that I have now passed my 12th in arts and I have scored 55%. Will I be eligible?
Yes, a pass in 12th standard is the minimum eligibility criteria.
At any percentage level?
Yes, any percentage level.
Okay, right. Now, as part of the entry into the program, does the student have to undergo any test or something like that?
Yes, we at Don Bosco College insist that an entrance test is conducted. It is to test the general aptitude of the student and his problem-solving capacity.
Problem-solving capacity, and how is that tested?
That is tested with specific arithmetic questions and certain questions that see what their capacity is in coming to a solution to a very specific simple problem.
Okay, all right, okay. That sounds a very interesting situation, because mostly, as I see it among our students in Goa, they don't tend to read a lot. So their understanding of what is happening in the real world seems to be very negligible. So their thinking process is, problem-solving process, thinking process is limited. So does this affect the entry of many students coming into the test?
It does, and in fact I would go on to say problem solving is the most important criteria as far as computer science as a field is concerned. Mathematics is important because it helps you understand and how computers work, but today's day we require students who are problem solvers because we have a lot of problems that need to be solved, and IT is just an enabler for the solution to these problems.
Can you give us a hint? Can you give the students a hint of how they should prepare themselves to solve problems? What is the best method to do it?
Now, it's very difficult to give a real solid answer because each student's problem solving capacity is going to be different.
That's right, yeah.
So some students are smart, so they can come to a solution quicker. Some students cannot. But to really hone your skills, you need to take a problem, try and solve it, and don't look at it like, you have to come up with the best solution. Sometimes coming up with a solution is good enough.
Yeah.
That is what we lack today. Students feel that, okay, I won't be able to come up with a solution. That's not the thing. Coming up with a solution, that is important.
Okay. And how about the fee structure? What are the fees like?
We take an annual fee. It's about 49,200 rupees per year, and it's a one-time payment.
Okay. Let's shift gear a little bit. I want our student and parents particularly to understand the difference between BCA and BE computer engineering. What is the difference?
The B computer engineering courses and the courses named so after it, like IT, computer science engineering, etc., are engineering courses that have developed from electronic engineering.
Okay.
Now, people say that they deal more with hardware and less of software, but that's not true. There is a lot of overlap of subjects that happen in BCA, MCA, and the BE. But the equivalence of the BCA course and the BE course are totally different. The BE course is considered equivalent to an MCA, which is a Master's in Computer Applications. While the BCA course is more like a regular undergraduate course like BSc Computer Science. So it really just gives you a brief introduction. The level of complexity in an engineering course is much more.
Right. So to put it in a more simpler language, would you say that a student who has done BCA, MCA is therefore equivalent to a BE in computer engineering? Roughly?
Roughly, yes. There's no hard and fast rule, but you could say the job opportunities are the same. And in fact, I would go on to say there are a lot of companies that want postgraduates. Now, if you'd look at it this way, a student who's done MCA would probably have spent 6 years studying, while a person who's done B would probably have spent 4 years studying. Companies want that. They want a student who's probably more mature, who will probably be able to take better decisions. And hence today, a lot of companies stress that you should have a postgraduate degree.
Right. Now, just to take this a little bit further, having done an MCA, would you then say that an MTech is a good thing to do?
If you would like to work in an industry, you can go ahead with just the MCA. If you're looking at a job in a company, an MCA is more than sufficient, I would say. But if you if you have the urge to learn more or pursue a career in research, an MTech will give you more opportunities to do so.
Okay, let's put this on another plane. MTech, MBA. Which one would the employer prefer?
An MTech is a very desired degree actually, but the requirements are a niche requirement because not all companies hire MTechs directly. There is still a need of postgraduates, yes, but the jobs out there are mostly for MCAs and BEs still. But the ever-growing number of job requirements for MTech is quite alarming now because a lot of students are actually pursuing that degree. MBA, on the other hand, is also a very popular degree. And a lot of BCA students do pursue MBA, especially when they want to look at starting their own company or would like to look at a business perspective behind running a company with that strong IT background. Yes, the MBA is also a very popular degree, but it's very hard to say which would be better or not. You want to look at an area in research, MTech would be better. So you like computer science, you want to pursue more into computer science, take the MTech degree. If you were not so happy with computer science, but with that new skill you would like to pursue an area in management, MBA is good for you.
Just so that the student understands it a little bit better, tell me please, what is the kind of research the student has to do at the MTech level?
Now, the research, what happens in an MTech course is you have to have a course in research methodology as of now. And what happens is in the full semester, that is the 4th semester, you are encouraged to write research papers and look at research projects in other research organizations or pursue a research project in college itself. So this kind of hones your research capacity.
Okay. Now, another growing field in computers, in fact, I think it's growing quite rapidly, is animation and graphics. Is there any scope for BCA students to learn that at the BCA level, or is it necessary for them to then go into a new course in animation and graphics?
Students interested in this could pursue a specialized degree in animation. That would be better. If they have pursued BCA and want to look at a field like this in animation, they can definitely look at certificate courses that enable them to do so.
Okay. Now, what is the kind of skill a person needs to do animation and graphics?
That's a very abstract question, because the skill involved in animation would be down to how well they can look at topics of design, how well they can look at storytelling. These things are more, what do you say, they are different from what we typically look at from computer science, where we stress more on problem solving and finding a solution to certain IT based services.
Problems, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned something about business and what the student might want to do MBA because he actually then wants to pursue business. Do you have any experience in Don Bosco's of any student having done exactly that?
No, at the moment we do not have a full-fledged alumni-based system where we keep track of what alumni do. But since the program has been running since 2001, I know of a number of students who have gone on and pursued MBA and are now presently, after pursuing MCA, have worked in very big major companies like Wipro, Mindtree, etc.
Okay, that's right. Now, I understand that the Chogle College in Margao offers a lot of such courses, one-year courses in animation and those kind of things. Is Don Bosco planning any such thing like that?
We are planning to offer vocational courses. I think one of these vocational courses would be related to computers, but we also offer a lot of add-on courses to our students. So we insist that at the end of 3 years at Don Bosco's, they get a minimum of at least 4 add-on courses or certificate courses that we offer in addition.
And those are?
We offer courses in Android programming, we offer them in data mining, we offer them courses in a lot of the new programming languages such as Python. So we keep them abreast with the current standards of the industry.
That is excellent actually, because we hear or read in papers that many of our engineering colleges are outdated as far as what they are training students. In fact, I read recently an article in Infosys. The student who has done his full-fledged computer engineering program and has passed well has to undergo 5 months of training before they actually put them on a job. So that's quite incredible that our college engineering colleges are not really up to date.
This is a common problem everywhere, because you see the rate at which the industry moves is far faster as the rate at which our syllabus is improved. Now, of course, there are certain institutes in India that update their syllabus every year. These institutes do try to keep abreast with the industry standards.
Right, yeah, okay.
But certain colleges, and a lot of them in India, in fact, take time to actually bring these changes into their syllabus.
Okay.
So what you learn now is good enough to build a student's foundation, but it's not good enough for him so that he can pursue a job in the company.
That is very
so. That kind of training is a must, because otherwise he would be totally lost in that organization.
Right, there you have it, Mr. Jovi De Silva, HOD of Don Bosco's College, with full-fledged information about what BCA is all about. So if you want to pursue a BCA, remember that besides pursuing a BCA, it would be advisable to take up certification courses during your 3-year program. And if you really want to get hot into computers, don't forget BCA is not the end of the road. It is actually MCA, and for those who are research minded, it should be MTech. So thank you, Mr. Jovi De Silva. It was very kind of you to come to our studios and tell our student population in Goa what this is all about. And I'm sure many of them will take the right decision now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're with a quite tall man from Don Bosco College. We're here and in talks with BCA, a student from the first year of BCA. His name is Kenneth Alvarez. So, Kenneth, where did you do your 11th and 12th, and what was your stream?
I did my 11th and 12th in Dempe PACE. It's a coaching division of their Dempe Science program, and I chose science for my 11th and 12th stream because I was interested in becoming an engineer. Unfortunately, that plan changed later on when I realized that my passion was computers, and when I realized that the only way that engineering wasn't the only way to study computers, because I wasn't interested in physics or chemistry or any of those other subjects. So that's when I found the BCA course and how it's geared towards only programming and the things that I loved. So that's why after doing science for my 11th and 12th, I selected the BCA program at Don Bosco.
I've been told that UGAT was, the entrance test for BBA and BCA, and there is a change. What is this test that you have to answer to get into BCA? How difficult is it, and how did you answer?
So the UGAT was for both the BBA and BCA, but now it's switched only for the BBA program. Here in Don Bosco, what we have is an entrance test just for the BCA department that focuses on general knowledge in things related to the tech space. So we had questions about Google and Apple and the major tech companies. We also had a basic math test on our 10th and 12th mathematics, and a few science questions, not too much into physics or chem.
How difficult or how easy it is for someone to pass this test on a very... If someone comes to you, the thing is BCA is something that can be done if you do your commerce or even do your arts. So how difficult would it be for someone who has done arts and not had any mathematics background for that sense to go ahead and answer this test?
For a science student, it's quite easy, but for a arts student or a commerce student, there might be a little struggle. It's not too difficult because it's mainly 10th standard math and a bit of 12th. But the mathematics isn't really complicated math. It's the kind of math that you use in your daily life that has practical applications. So it's not too tough to understand.
So the BCA program in that's Bachelor of Computer Applications in Don Bosco's is 3 years, I've been told, 3 entire academic years, and in these 3 years you then have your BCA degree. What do these 3 years comprise of? I mean, what is the first year, second year, third year, as far as the curriculum goes, and as far as what you learn on a practical level?
I'm in my first year right now, so I've checked the syllabus for all 3 years, but I'm not sure exactly what goes on later on. Currently, in the first year, we've studied quite a bit of programming, languages like C and C++. We've also done a lot of math and accounting. So I think the focus basically is to get you trained in computers and also with have an understanding of businesses, the way businesses work.
Oh, okay. Pretty practical.
Sorry, yeah. So it's pretty practical, and the subjects are very focused towards computers. They don't diverge off into many other branches.
What are what's the scope after BCA? Not just for you, but on a general note. When someone finishes their BCA, do they directly go into work? Can they, or do they do their masters? How, where, what?
A lot of people after doing the BCA go for an MCA program, which is a Masters in Computer Awareness. They all computer application, sorry, and they also do an MBA program where they can get a management job. Some go on to do MTechs after the MCA.
So you told us right at the beginning that you wanted to be an engineer, and now it's towards computers. Would you work for a company? Is that the plan, or do you have a company in mind, or do you plan to be an entrepreneur, start something of your own? Is there something big in the pipeline?
So currently, along with doing my BCA course, I also run a web development agency where I make websites and apps and things like that for my clients. And the goal is, while I'm doing my college, to grow this business on the side. Hopefully by the time I'm done, it'll be enough to make a full-time income so I can start my own thing. If not, I don't have a problem working for a company, because a lot of people think entrepreneurship is about self-employment, and that's not what it's about. It's about entrepreneurial mentality is about being creative and finding solutions to problems. You can do that for your own company or for another company you're working for. So I wouldn't have a problem working for a good company that has a direction and a good goal and problems they're trying to solve. Something like Google, Apple, Facebook, the big brands. Yeah.
Big brands. So in Goa and around, we've got a couple of companies like ESG and CIBA that help entrepreneurs, or rather people who are inclined to starting their own business, to kind of set up and go forward from there. Have you heard of these organizations? And if so, would you like to, do you plan on, collaborating with organizations like SIBA and going forward? Is that feasible? Is that what you think today?
So currently, I'm not sure of many of the organizations. I do know about SIBA in Verna because a website I started, it got an investment from an investor who has his office in SIBA. So I've been there, I've seen the place. I think it's really nice that the government is providing for office spaces for startups, and along with this, they've got loans and funding programs. So I think there's a lot of support in Goa. If you want to do your own thing and start a company, then there's a lot of support from the government and people.
Well, those are lots of positive notes. Now, coming back to the basics, I know you're in first year, and everybody who's passing off their 12th have this ideal college they all want to join. It has to have a good amount of fun, an amazing canteen, and a lot of, for the lack of a better word, fun time. So if you have to talk about Don Bosco College as a college, and everybody says, oh, Don Bosco's. As a college, considering you've been here a couple of months now, what is your take about the college life around the campus?
We have a really nice campus here. It's quite big. There's a lot of space and there's different things you can do. We have a studio, we have a sports section, we have a huge ground, an auditorium, and there's a lot of things going on in our campus. So in terms of activity, it's very lively over here, very exciting and energetic. I feel that if you're into studies and also into extracurricular activities, Don Bosco is definitely the place for you because we're good in sports. We take part in a lot of different competitions. So you'll definitely get a chance to grow and explore different areas.
All right, so wish you the bestest of luck, and hope to see you once you finish your third year BCA. We'll do a follow-up interview and see where that's going. Thank you so much, Kenneth.